Hello everyone, this is Ilma from IELTS Professor. Today I am here with a set of very important IELTS related questions which students usually faces during their exam time. So to get the most accurate answers, I want to engage with our leading trainer Saidul Abra sir. Let's move on to him. Assalamualaikum sir, hello, how are you?
Walaikum salam, I'm fine, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing very great. First of all, I want to show my warmest gratitude to you for giving me a moment.
No problem.
So before we begin, I have a few important questions that will help me also the other students understand the IELTS exam more clearly. So may I proceed?
Sure.
Okay, so my first relatable questions will about speaking part in the IELTS exam. Sir, I want to ask you, Jay, is it true that candidates cannot ask any questions to the examiner during the speaking test?
Okay, it's a common misconception because students often see the teachers from a point of view of respect. So from that point of view, and also the traditional teaching methods has not encouraged people to really engage in questioning with the examiner. However, in IELTS, it's completely different. You are more than welcome to ask questions in 3 occasions. First, if you don't understand the question, you can ask the examiner what the question means. You can ask the meaning of a specific word. You can also ask the examiner to repeat the question. So to answer your question, yes, they can ask question to the examiner.
All right. Then my next concerning part is about vocabulary requirement. Many students think like this: to secure a high level of score in IELTS or high band score in both speaking or writing, do we really need to use high level of grammar or vocabulary to secure our point?
Okay, so there's 2 ways to look at it. The first one is your requirement. So most universities don't require anything beyond band 7. And band 7 doesn't only hinge on vocabulary and grammar. For speaking, you have fluency and pronunciation. For writing, you have task response and coherence and cohesion. So first thing people need to know, it's not only about vocabulary and grammar. Now the issue is if you're focused too much on high-level vocabulary, your fluency might drop and your writing comprehension might become a little vague. So examiners might misinterpret your sentences. So I wouldn't say very high-level vocabulary required, but C1, C2 required if you aim for band 8-9. B2 required if you aim for band 6.5.
Okay, so if any students have a desire to secure 8 or 9 band, what will be their strategy for study?
Well, it's more difficult to get productive skills scores. For example, for speaking and writing, your vocabulary and grammar has to be accurate. You cannot make any mistakes, that's the first thing, and there has to be lots of variety. Now, to give you an example, many people think that they have to keep on using different synonyms, which is not always the case, and it's not very natural. For instance, let's take the word shop. So if we think, okay, what are the possible synonyms of shop, then our brain might go blank. However, we can tweak the word, like we can say shopping mall, we can say shopaholic, we can say shoppers. So these are different ways of achieving paraphrasing. So it's more important to paraphrase rather than going for high-level vocabulary.
Is it important for both module, writing and speaking, or only for writing?
No, both module, for writing and speaking, because in speaking, the second thing they check is your vocabulary.
All right. Now I am to focus on the test audience of writing text 1 and text 2. Students generally feels very confused about what should they attempt first, text 2 or text 1.
Okay, we often suggest students to go for task 2 first because number 1, you have to write more. In task 2, you have to write 250 words plus, and in task 1, 150 words. The second is the weightage. So from writing task 2, around 65% of your band score is taken, which is 35% for task 1. So task 1 is twice as much important as task 2. So in that case, you should write task 2 first to achieve both of those aims. And also, sometimes when you write task 1, first, what happens is you don't have time at the end of the test, so you don't really write the conclusion. So if you don't write conclusion in an essay, it's going to hamper your score more severely than if you don't write any conclusion in task 1. In fact, in task 1, there is no conclusion required. So our suggestion, always go for task 2 first, then take task 1.
I think it's very crucial task 2.
Yeah, because it's double the band score. 65% is coming from task 2.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So if I ask you about the strategy of listening test, students might feel like how appropriate is to assume that the first answer we hear is always be the correct one.
Yeah, it's a common misconception. I think it happens for 2 reasons. First, examinees are nervous when they take the test, so they try to get the answer as quickly as possible. But IELTS listening test is full of distractors, so they'll try and feed in wrong information first before giving you the actual information. So it's not always the case that you'll listen to your answer directly. I would say about 80% of answers come a bit later. Yes, 20% answers do come immediately, but the percent is too low. So you should always listen more. So wait for your answer. If you confirm that that was the first answer, correct one, I always teach learners to write down all the possible answers on the side and then decide when you transfer the answers. In that case, you have lesser opportunity to get a reduced score.
All right. Can you please share us a little strategy about mapping solving the listening test?
Okay, it's quite funny because some people are not good at following directions naturally, so they find it more difficult than others. If someone is good at following directions, even on a map, all they need to know is the directional phrases like, go north, go south, go straight. These are called directional expressions. So if you know the directional expressions and you can follow a map, it's, I think, one of the easiest question type. But for some people, it's naturally more difficult to follow
Maybe
instructions.
Maybe it's very difficult to them to hold their concentration, like what is telling actually, what
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
actually.
Like I said, I mean, in listening, they will always fill up the audio with distractors.
Yes.
So let's say you have to go to this location, and then they'll tell you the location, and then they'll tell you what facilities are surrounding the location. So the surrounding location answer as the main answer is not the same. So people often feel, okay, I have heard this one first, so that's the answer, without following the instruction.
In that case, if anyone feel a little drop on their concentration or stuck in a questions, like they're very puzzled to finding the correct answer, so should they go forward or should just hold that on that point?
Yeah, we always teach, forget and move on. If you miss an answer, you're losing only 1 mark. If you're lingering on it, you're losing more marks. So if you feel that I've missed 1 answer, then it's okay to lose 1 mark rather than losing the sequence of the audio. Also, in the question, there are words that do not change. We call them tracking words. So tracking words can help you to get back in the audio. So where is the audio now? To refocus your attention.
All right. So now I want to move on the very difficult, so-called difficult module in IELTS, that is reading. Students usually say this is one of the toughest part in IELTS. So is it correct that the reading passages become increasingly difficult in a sequential order?
It used to be. But nowadays we're looking, if you look at the question patterns this year, you would see that it's not followed, I would say it's not followed exactly what Cambridge claims. So Cambridge claims that your passage 1 is the easiest, passage 2 is moderately hard, and passage 3 is the hardest. But when I talked with different learners, also verified the question, I found that there are many exams in which passage 3 is the easiest and passage 1 is the hardest. So it's not sequential anymore, and learners should be aware of this when they go into the test.
Now I want to move on my next question, that is, does our score depend on whether we sit for the test under British Council or IDP?
I would say absolutely not, because your score comes from 4 skills. So, and British Council and IDP both don't have the authority to create questions. So what they are is they are facilitators. So they arrange the exam. So they provide the questions that Cambridge provide them to the students. So for listening, reading and writing, absolutely no issues. For speaking, there is a popular claim that IDP examiners give more score than British Council. So in that sense, I would say it's again depends on the individual how they feel, and rumor goes both ways. So we cannot say for certain this happens.
Where's the actually real source for starting this kind of rumors?
Well, I don't know, because I don't engage in gossips, so it's not possible for me to really verify. But as you know, our people in our country likes good, gossip or rumor. So if, let's say, student A went to British Council, got 6, student B went to IDP, got 6.5. Now, their own assessment is that they're at the same level. So they would assume that IDP is giving them a higher band score in speaking.
So
it happens only in speaking, though.
This is a myth. We can count.
Yes, so definitely. Yeah.
All right. So I want to move my last and the final question. Sorry, I am taking your
No, it's fine.
too
It's
long
okay.
time. And now I want to move on agree and disagree questions where students really face in the writing exams, also in the speaking exams.
Right.
So should they always approach their answer in an agree or positive way, or they can disagree, or they can stand their own logics behind the answer?
Yes, there's a tendency to think that they should agree with the examiner if they ask an opinion-based question. But there is really no need for this, because if you think that you don't agree with someone or you don't agree with a statement, you just need to justify your position. So you're going to have to say why you disagree, what are the reasons, some examples with it. So there is no, let's say, fixed mindset that I have to agree with the examiner for the sake of agreement because he's examiner. There is no need for that. However, logically, you should always think, can I create more ideas if I agree? Can I create more ideas if I disagree? So go for more ideas for writing. For speaking, justify your position. So yeah, you don't have to.
So the answer is stand out like always justify your answer.
Yeah, you need to justify your position.
Writing and speaking.
Sure.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. That's for today. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable time. And yeah, hope to see you in the next video. Assalamualaikum to everyone.